You have to have a desire, right? Attitude is just as important as aptitude. We can teach you a trade, but you have to want to work. Now his welders are being paid more than his nuclear engineers in San Antonio.
Produced by Podcast Architects.
Welcome back to another episode of The Path Forward. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, TexED Con 23, and I have a guest from Joeris, Chris Corso. Did I nail it?
You nailed it. You got it right.
Okay, so general contracting. What does that mean? If I'm a student out there, or I'm in college and I'm looking for a trade, what does all of that entail?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Joeris. We've been around for about 60 years.
Okay.
The company was started by a man named Leo Joeris. His son, Gary Joeris, took over the company in the 70s, I believe, and we basically started out in San Antonio as a general contractor that was working on all different types of jobs. Education, it ended up being kind of their forte, and so from the 80s and 90s, they grew from a fairly small K through 12 builder to today we're one of the top K through 12 builders in the state of Texas. So we've gone in revenue from in the 90s, I think they were at $30 million, and now we just passed the $1 billion mark.
Very nice.
And our market has changed now. We have offices across the state in the major cities except El Paso. Aviation is the newest market. We interviewed for the new San Antonio airport last Monday with Answer Advisory Group, your old company. We're hopeful for that. We're in a partnership with Austin Commercial, who has built airports across the United States. So we're trying to create a new vertical in Joeris and in San Antonio in particular for aviation. We also build commercial office buildings across the state. HEB is a client of ours. We have had a long-standing relationship with them, built a number of their retail stores as well as their industrial facilities. Healthcare is another one. We're in another joint venture with another large GC on the $500 million county hospital in San Antonio. So we've grown now. We're right about 600 employees, and glad to be in Texas. It's a great state. Great company to work for. Missions and values are very important to us.
Now we have some things in common, right? So I've got family in Alamo Heights. You've got family in Alamo Heights. Great school district, great superintendent, and you've got a son that may be interested in podcasting and doing some of this. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, so I have a son that's a freshman at Trinity University. His name's Dylan. And Dylan was a student body president at Alamo Heights High School.
Very nice.
He was in charge of the Mule Tube program there. So he got very involved in not only video production and the broadcasting aspect, but he learned a lot of the aspects of the business. He's working on his major right now at Trinity University to continue in that field. Very interested on the technical side of it, but he's comfortable both on the broadcast side and on the technical side, which is kind of a plus for him. Seeing you guys here today, I thought it'd be a great opportunity for him to learn a little bit more about what you guys do, how you got started. There might be an opportunity for you guys to visit.
Very nice. And Dylan, just a disclaimer, I twisted your dad's arm. I told him there's nothing like embarrassing your own kids, so don't be too upset with him if you see this. I asked him to come on, but it's interesting you mentioned that because number one, everything is interconnected, right? You guys are potentially working the airport job. Answer Advisor is my firm, great company. It's just I never cease to amaze me how everything is interconnected. And now you've got a son that's obviously done very well, interested in this crazy racket, which I fell into by accident. But the guys at Podcast Architects are unbelievable. I'm not a technical expert, so I can't help Dylan at all. I can sit here and talk. That's about all I can do is run my mouth. But I know that they take interns. Internships, apprenticeships is one of my passions, and I do a lot for Answer Advisory in that regard. So I think there is some synergy there. So if there's some interest there, by all means, let's set something up. And as I said, we're in San Antonio quite frequently for family, but let's see what we can work out. And I don't think there's a need. I think one thing we worry about is like, if it's a freshman or sophomore, let's wait till they're seniors. No, why? Most stuff can be accomplished, combination of virtual and I don't see the need of not giving opportunities because of let's wait till they're a senior. No.
Fantastic. So, tell me, how large is the company?
That's a good question. total, Jake, any idea? How many total?
I'd say about
20, yeah.
Fantastic. And what year was it started? 2020. Wow. How about that?
And
That's
so,
fantastic.
and just a little bit of a backstory. So they do an incredible job, but have a great partnership with Texas A&M, the Mays Business School, the Innovation Center there. And that's kind of how I learned about the Mays Mastercast and hearing some of the stories of the alum there. And I'm not an Aggie, but my wife is, so I guess I count somewhat.
Right.
But just hearing how they were helping A&M, and I think most of the country consumes with podcasts in short bursts. No one watches the news anymore. So I said, well, this may be useful. And as a former superintendent, we all know how critical messaging is. So it kind of all just seemed like a great opportunity. And now I enjoy to catch up, but also to learn about industry. So
Sure.
let me ask you one more. So
Sure.
for students, whether they be high school students or college students looking to get into general contracting, construction, something in that capacity, what skill set? Give me 2 skill sets that are vital that you got to have.
Well, first of all, you have to have a desire, right? Attitude is just as important as aptitude. We can teach you a trade, but you have to want to work. And there's a huge need right now in our industry across the board in Texas to hire qualified people. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest challenges, not only Joeris, but all the general contractors in Texas are facing across the nation, as you know, is finding quality people.
You got it.
So I think right now I'm actually chairing the North Chamber's workforce development in San Antonio. And as part of that, the city of San Antonio has a SA Ready to Work program where they've invested $200 million over the next 5 years to try to train and recruit
Wow.
kids to get into our industry. And so we're working closely with the school districts, with UTSA, with Texas A&M to bring a CTE program together that everybody can follow, and kids will know not everybody's going to be able to graduate from college, but at least they can have a career path starting as early as 5th or 6th grade and know this is the path I need to go. I heard the CPS chairman, which is a city public service, mention that right now his welders are being paid more than his nuclear engineers in San Antonio. So if that gives you any idea, even though higher education a degree may not be the ultimate attainable goal, there are plumbers, there are welders that are making in excess of 6 figures. There's a big need for it right now, so the opportunity is there. It's just showing the career path to these kids how to get there.
You know what we need to hear from the, if we want to do this better, right? You nailed it. Educators need to understand and evolve a little bit of how we think about career. Because when I was in school, it was you got to go to college. There's no other choice, and college is great. There's if that's the path, and that's the path. But I also think we need to hear what you just said is there are high wage, high skilled jobs, and the need seems to be exponentially growing. And if you can get your butt up and you got will and you got work ethic and
That's right.
you can make an unbelievable living and have a satisfying job. And I mean, you guys, I can't imagine, got all kind of creative stuff that would blow your mind that you're building. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? I love that. I love that you said CTE, man. Now you're talking my language. So I like that you're also help guiding that. We don't ask educators, we don't ask business to help us. Not just with, hey, give us a donation or help us with this or cut a ribbon. Like, we need you guys guide our curriculum. Help us. What is really the job? What does it look like in practice, and how is it evolving? Because you're seeing things right now that, will transcend what we think is possible for construction, for growth, and all that stuff. So it's just amazing. So let me ask you this. Did you try to get him to come into your, Dylan, did you get the son? Did you give him a couple of nudges at some point? Hey, did you think about this?
Actually, I went to the University of Texas and I have a degree in radio, television, and film. And so I encouraged him not to get into the industry, quite frankly. School of communications, I will say, is probably a skill set, though, that I took away from my degree that I use every single day, especially in the industry that I'm in right now. So I encouraged him to go into business or law, but he right now, his passion is behind the camera or in front of the camera, and so I'm going to encourage him to follow his dreams. He had an opportunity to go to the University of Nebraska to the Johnny Carson School of Media there.
Yes.
passed on it because he got a great opportunity to go to Trinity, small liberal arts school in San Antonio.
Yes.
So it's a great start for him, and I'm encouraged about where he is right now in his life, and hopefully he'll find his path. But he's very passionate about this industry right now, and I'm real happy for him.
That's a funny. So you threw me a curveball because usually it's like, yeah, I wanted him, but now you started down different path, and he took that path. So that's funny. I got so many stories about, I wanted him to do this, but he's doing this, and it's good that you're encouraging this passion, right?
Thanks, I appreciate that very much.
Well, it was good spending some time with you, and I think we got a lot of follow-up discussions to have, maybe for business, maybe for
Sure.
internships, and it's always a pleasure meeting somebody in the industry, but also that likes to talk about education. So
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
thank you for joining us.
You bet.
Produced by Podcast Architects.